It's time for Maggie and the Moms, sponsored by Tampa General Hospital. Welcome to Maggie and the Moms, where we celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. We welcome to our moms panel today Natasha Prose, a mother of two who blogs about her parenting adventures in Tampa Bay and beyond at Prose & Company. Check it out. Karima Henry is back as well. She's also a mother of two. She's the craftiest mom we know, and you can get ideas from her at Crafting a Fun Life. And Laura Byrne, you guessed it, a mother of two, and the editor of Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine. Look for the December issue. It's out now with lots of family holiday ideas throughout Tampa Bay. Mother of two.
Yeah.
It's a club
There's
today.
a theme.
There's a theme. You all have two boys, though. I have
Yes.
boys.
So there's a special place in heaven for us.
Yes. All right, so we have all had photos of our kids taken, of course, with Santa sitting on his lap and maybe telling him what they want for Christmas. Well, ever since COVID, those photos look a little bit different. The kids are distanced. We have an example to show you. This Deanna Moore took her girls, our executive producer, to get their picture taken. So as you can see, the kids are standing next to Santa to be safe. They're wearing their masks. So these kinds of photos started because of COVID, but it's raised the question, should this be a permanent change? Should we have been encouraging our children to sit on a stranger's lap to begin with? These things that COVID you maybe never thought of, but you're like,
It's a blessing.
So I'm curious, what do you think? Permanent change?
I don't know if I want it to be a permanent change. I mean, I feel like it's a classic, right? Like to sitting on Santa's lap. I mean, but it does kind of make sense. But I'm still gonna push my kids to do the Santa photos. You know, encourage them. Obviously, if it's a big no-no, I'm not going to do it. But
Right.
I mean, it's a classic picture. I kind of want it.
What do you think, Karima?
Now that you say it out loud, it sounds terrible. No, you're forcing your kids to sit on somebody's lap that they have no idea who it is.
Well, just like they tell them to take candy from strangers at Halloween, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it's a tradition.
Exactly. So like now that my oldest is around 6, I let him decide if he wants to do it. He still takes the picture, but he's like, I'm not sitting on anyone's lap.
Really?
So, yeah, he's very particular about everything. His other brother will, he'll follow him. So if he's not doing it, then he's like, no, mommy. So
Interesting that came from him.
yeah.
You know, I think the kids are probably the most excited about not having to sit on his lap. I've been saying this since last year. I know some of the parents were upset. Oh, I can't get my photo with Santa, my kid in his lap. But I think the kids are thrilled. And I think Santa's probably secretly thrilled too, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have all the photos from over the years of my kids screaming and crying, and it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why we want the picture, because we like to laugh at it later.
Right.
Let's be honest. It's for us. Yeah, it's for us. It's
We
not
earned
for
that.
them.
We talked about
But
that.
I mean, I think it's something that should stick around. I mean, for the most part, it looks weird when you have big kids on a guy's lap. So I think babies, it makes sense because, you know.
They can't stand.
They can't. Yeah, maybe toddlers is kind of cute, but at a certain age, it's like, maybe you should just sit next to him. It's a little, like, less weird.
I never thought of this at all till I saw this photo and I said it out loud and I'm like, oh. And you know, and that's surprising because as you all know, I'm the mom who's always thinking worst case scenario when it comes to parenting. It's a product, you and I have talked about this, of many years in journalism, reporting on the absolute worst things that happen to children and often talking to the families who tell you, you know, give you every warning under the sun. But I think the reason that this one never occurred to me is because I never have heard of anything inappropriate or bad happening from a kid sitting on Santa's lap. Nothing ever happened to me when I was a kid, and I also didn't take it as a sign that, you know, because my parents said to sit on Santa's lap, that means it's okay to sit on a stranger's lap. You know, no. So I think that if we continue to have talks with our kids, I think it's okay. At the same time, though, I'm glad my kids are not in that age anymore because now I think it's weird. Because now that I know and we've talked about it, I do think it's a little odd.
Well, my son did when he was a baby, though. He did let loose in his diaper. It didn't get on Santa's lap, but he was so upset about sitting in his lap that he had a number 2 in his diaper.
Oh my
I mean, it didn't leak.
But that's how traumatic it can be for some kids. They don't want to do it.
So, you know, I was like, and my
crying.
husband's like, why are you doing this? Like, just, or, you know what, Mom, how about you get in the picture with them?
There you go.
You hold your, because,
If
you know,
you
we need
want
our,
it,
and the dad
right.
too. Take your picture too.
There you go. I think that's perfect. All right, let's spin the wheel. Our first topic today on our Wheel of Mom Topics is going to be At what age? Okay, so this one is inspired. I don't know if you saw, there was like an 8-second video that went viral on TikTok. A mom who posted for like a split second, what was it, questionable parenting or unpopular parenting decisions. And she put, I don't allow sleepovers. And there were a lot of opinions on this on social media. Curious, at what age, Laura, do you allow sleepovers?
My kids are 6 and 8, so we haven't been there yet, so I don't really know. And it kind of got me thinking, I was like, what age would I say it's okay? And I think I would say if it's a family member, like a cousin's house, then I'd be okay with it, but they're not at the age where they've even asked for a sleepover. But I don't know, it's a good question, but I think I would have to know the family very well in order for me to be okay with it. I wouldn't just let a classmate and then have him
like go to a birthday party that's a sleepover, somebody you've never met.
Sure.
Do you allow sleepovers, Karima?
Well, Caleb had a sleepover when he was almost 6, but it was with friends that we've known since, at least I've known her since like middle school. And the boys grew up together, and it was just one night. We knew the parents, like we felt safe and comfortable, so there wasn't a problem. But like just a classmate or just a friend in the neighborhood, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
No,
What about you?
I can't do it.
Same thing. I mean, it comes down to knowing the family. When my son was about 8, I think, we did what was called a sleep under, and they got to go to the friend's house, be in PJs, watch movies, stay out a little bit later, but then come home.
Oh, I like that.
So that was
I
a
love
genius
that.
alternative.
I love that.
So we've done that. Now my youngest, now 7, is asking for a sleep under. So, we've since now had sleepovers with my oldest, but we know the families. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
and the alternative is the sleep under.
I like that.
I love
I've never
that
heard of
idea.
it.
Yeah.
So my kids are 11 and 16, and we have never and will never allow them to sleep over anyone's house. Talk about unpopular parenting decisions. So none of their friends' parents think that way. They certainly don't. I mean, it's led to many worst family ever.
Right.
My son saying, I want a new family. I mean, they hate it. It's very difficult to stick to, but luckily my husband and I are on the same page. And maybe it is because of my journalist background, but also I had a friend who told me about a very disturbing story of something that happened at a sleepover that she went to when she was a kid with a very close friend. And I just think this is my gauge. When I'm making a parenting decision, I always say, I weigh the benefit versus the risk. All right, so the benefits of sleepovers are clear, socializing, independence, but the risk are they could suffer a traumatic experience. I know that the risk is low, probably, especially if you know the family, but why am I gonna risk it when they can get the same benefits from other things like playing with the kid, riding their bike? So sorry, it's a no forever. All right, ladies, well, thank you. Thanks for being here. And stick around, please, because we've got our Maggie and the Mom sponsor, Tampa General Hospital, talking about why where you deliver your baby matters. That's coming up later. Daytime will be right back.